Have you ever wondered if your loved ones who passed away can actually see you right now? Most people assume death creates an impenetrable wall between heaven and earth. But what if that assumption is completely wrong? What if the spiritual realm operates on principles that would shock you? The truth about how people in heaven see us might change everything you thought you knew about life after death. Here's what most believers never consider. Death doesn't blind the righteous. It opens their eyes. While we're limited by physical sight that can barely see a few miles ahead, those in heaven operate with spiritual vision that transcends every earthly boundary. Think about it. If God sees all things at all times, and the saints are in his presence, wouldn't they share in that divine perspective? The Bible gives us glimpses that most people completely overlook. In Luke chapter 16, the rich man in torment could see Lazarus in Abraham's bosom. He didn't just know Lazarus was there. He could actually see him across that great divide. If someone in a place of suffering could see into paradise, how much more can those in glory see into our world? But here's where it gets really interesting. Their sight isn't limited like ours. We see through a glass darkly, as Paul puts it in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. But those who have passed from this life into eternity see face to face. That means they don't just see our actions. They see our hearts, our struggles, our victories, and our defeats with perfect clarity. Now, before you start feeling self-conscious about every move you make, understand this. Heaven isn't some cosmic surveillance system designed to make you paranoid. The saints who've gone before us aren't judging your every stumble. They're cheering for your every step forward. Hebrews chapter 12 tells us we're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. That's not accidental language. Witnesses don't just know about something, they observe it. Think about your grandmother who prayed for you every single day while she was alive. Do you really think death suddenly made her stop caring about your spiritual journey? Or consider that friend who always encouraged you to seek God. Death didn't erase their love for you. It perfected it. Free from the limitations of flesh, their concern for your soul burns even brighter now. Here's what changes everything about how they see us. Time works differently in eternity. While we experience life one moment at a time, those in heaven exist outside our temporal constraints. They can see the full picture of your story. When you're going through that valley, feeling like you can't take another step, they see the mountain you're about to climb. When you think you've failed beyond repair, they see the comeback that's already written. But their perspective goes even deeper than that. They see spiritual warfare that we completely miss. While we're focused on visible problems, they observe the invisible battles. That sudden temptation that hit you out of nowhere. They see the demonic assignment behind it. That unexpected breakthrough you experienced. They witness the angelic intervention that made it possible. This isn't some mystical fantasy. This is biblical reality that most churches never teach. The spiritual realm is more real than the physical world we touch and see. And those who've crossed over haven't moved to some distant, disconnected place. They've moved to the realm that was always there, running parallel to ours. The question isn't whether they can see us. The question is what they see when they look. Do they see someone walking in purpose or wandering in confusion? Do they see faith rising or doubt taking over? Do they see you drawing closer to God or drifting further away? Their perspective isn't clouded by earthly concerns anymore. They don't worry about your bank account or your social status. They see what actually matters for eternity: your character, your relationship with Christ, your impact on others, the legacy you're building that will follow you into the next life. And here's something that might surprise you. They're not passive observers. The communion of saints isn't just a theological concept. It's a spiritual reality where those who've gone before continue to play a role in God's plan for your life. Their prayers don't stop at death. They intensify. But here's where most people get confused about heavenly intercession. We think of prayer as this desperate pleading with God to change his mind. That's not how it works in heaven. Those who've passed into glory don't pray from a place of uncertainty or desperation. They pray from a position of perfect alignment with God's will. Their intercession carries the weight of divine authority because they see clearly what God is already planning to accomplish in your life. This means when you're facing impossible circumstances, when the doctors give you bad news, when your marriage looks beyond repair, when your children seem lost forever, there are voices in heaven declaring what God has already purposed for your breakthrough. They're not hoping it might happen, they're participating in making it happen through their prayers that perfectly align with heaven's agenda. Now, let's address something that makes people uncomfortable. Can they see your secret sins? Can they witness your private failures? The answer is yes, but not in the way you think. They don't see to condemn. They see to intercede. When King David committed adultery and murder, do you think the righteous who had gone before turned away in disgust? Or do you think they saw a man who needed restoration and began praying for his repentance? Their sight is filtered through love, not judgment. They see your struggles with the same compassion Christ has for you. When you fall, they don't shake their heads in disappointment. They intercede for your restoration. When you're tempted, they petition heaven for your strength. When you feel abandoned, they're reminding God of his promises over your life. But here's what will shock you about their perspective. They can see connections you never noticed. That random conversation you had with a stranger 10 years ago. They see how it planted a seed that's about to bear fruit in someone's salvation. That financial struggle you went through. They observe how it positioned you to help others in ways you haven't discovered yet. That heartbreak that nearly destroyed you. They witness how it gave you compassion that will heal countless others. Every tear you've cried, every prayer you've whispered, every act of obedience when no one was watching. They see it all woven together in God's magnificent plan. While you're living one day at a time, wondering if your life has meaning, they're watching a masterpiece unfold. They see your story from beginning to end, and they know every chapter serves a purpose. This changes everything about how you should view your current struggles. You're not fighting alone. You're not praying alone. You're not believing alone. There's a host of witnesses who've walked similar paths, faced similar giants, and emerged victorious. They're not just watching your battle, they're reinforcing your faith with their intercession. And here's the most powerful truth about their sight. They can see your potential in ways you never could. While you focus on your limitations, they see your possibilities. While you remember your failures, they see your future victories. While you question your calling, they see the assignment God placed on your life before you were born. Their vision isn't clouded by fear, doubt, or earthly reasoning. They see with the eyes of faith perfected. They see what God sees when he looks at you. Not your past mistakes, but your eternal destiny. Not your current weakness, but your hidden strength. Not your present confusion, but your coming clarity. So when you feel like giving up, remember this. There are eyes in heaven watching with perfect love and unwavering faith. They see the end from the beginning. They know the victory is already written, and they're interceding for you to see what they see until you cross over and join them in that realm where all things are finally revealed in perfect light. So the next time you feel alone in your struggles, remember this truth. You have witnesses in heaven who see your story from beginning to end. They see your breakthrough before you see your trial. They see your purpose when you feel lost. They see your victory when you feel defeated. Their love for you didn't end at death. It was perfected by it. Death isn't a wall between heaven and earth. It's a doorway to clearer vision. And those who've walked through that door are watching, praying, and believing for you with eyes that see what yours cannot yet perceive. They see you not as you are, but as God created you to become. Your life matters more than you realize. Your prayers carry more weight than you know. Your story is being watched by those who understand its eternal significance. So live knowing you have an audience in heaven that's cheering for every step you take toward your divine destiny. The question isn't whether they can see you. The question is, are you living a life worth watching? Drop a comment with the word watching if this opened your eyes to the reality of heaven's perspective. And remember, you're never walking alone. There are eyes of love following your every move, and hands of faith lifting you in prayer until you join them in that place where all things are seen clearly.